Hello, so I want to do like a video about Andvari. So Andvari is one of those heroes, like he's actually pretty decent, but he's kind of been on the decline. I don't see him nearly as much as I used to. Sometimes he would play as like a tank role or something. He's actually a support though, and that's actually part of his issue here. Is Andvari's support control, but he has skills, Titan Fist. This does stun for like nearby enemies 3 seconds. Not too bad. Living nearest. This is one of his better abilities, right? Protects himself and the nearest allies from displacement and knockup effects, prioritizing the ally in front of him. So this right here is like kind of like the main reason you'd use Andvari is that he can prevent displacement, which makes him a Lars counter. Like this is probably one of the main reasons I use him. Like you can place him like right behind the tank, so the tank doesn't get moved, or you can use him as a tank and he'll like help the second hero from not being moved. This really shuts down Krista Lars pretty good. Affects other heroes like Maya and Fox and Faceless. Kai. Stone Grasp. This one is just like another stun effect. It says deals physical damage, stuns the target, and binds itself to the ground for 2 seconds. So he has two different like stun effects, but they're not like Arachne that hits quite. This is like a single target one, so it's kind of eh. In this one, Nature's Barrier, this is kind of an interesting ability. It covers the lowest armor allies protective barrier that absorbs physical and pure damage. The hero protected by the barrier gains bonus energy from all damage absorbed because it protects against pure damage. Well, the few abilities protect against pure damage. It always affects the lowest armor ally. Like there is like a synergy I've talked about like before. Like if you have Aurora, like and you skip her armor skin, Aurora will usually be the one that ends up with that because Aurora has pretty low armor. I have her armor skin, like which is like where half her armor comes. Like most of her armor literally comes from this skin. So if you skip that skin, most of your armor on Aurora, like you'll have like less than 10,000 armor. Unless she's using like an armor pet like Oliver or something. But where did Andvari go? So like that's interesting interaction. So like if you want that barrier to go on Aurora, like you can keep her armor low. And this is a way to potentially help mitigate like Iris a bit. Like that is one useful thing. But like speaking of Iris, Andvari pairs really well with Iris. Like Iris is like Andvari is one of those heroes that are often you might want to play with Iris because Iris is really susceptible to Krista Lars. Like her exposed soul. It doesn't, like said, if the other team is able to advance, like in front of the exposed soul isn't that exposed anymore. Like Krista Lars really is kind of like one of the strongest counters to her. So play pairing with Andvari again as a because Andvari's a counter to Krista Lars. It helps Iris a lot, especially on defense if you're planning on using Iris defense. But I'm actually starting to see Andvari less and less because right? Like a lot of times you'd see Andvari as a tank. He might be okay as a secondary hero, but like if you want to play as tank, he does have lots of health, lots of stuff. Like he has really good stats. He's a strength hero. But he has pretty good tanking stats outside of his magic defense, which is pretty non-existent. So you can put Mara Patron on him to increase his magic defense, plus let his stuns last a bit longer. But you'd probably have to also have a hero who can strip Ode to Serenity to really get value out of these, because Ode to Serenity is pretty ubiquitous. But probably the biggest issue though is that he is the support hero. Like support means he does get the bonuses from the support branch easier, but means he's probably also missing out on his individual stuff. And like if you're gonna use Andvari as a tank, like so he's here, but it's like look at like there's all these support heroes here. There's a lot. This is like the most crowded role. Like I mean, like well not the most page the most crowded role, but this is like the best role. Like you need to have there's all these support heroes. So kindness insignias like are a hot commodity, like greater kindness insignias. Like kindness, like there's just so many heroes who want these. Same things like Morgan wants them. Like I'm like Amir is not necessarily must have it started on her, but it's like because like kindness insignias are such a scarce resource, it's really hard to like I said, we've did that one at some kind of, but as far as I got, like, it's really hard to take his ascension beyond like rank 2 because you're are such in such short supply that you need for Sebastian, Isaac, Nebula. Trying to make significant progress, like if you really want to get all those stats, like magic defense, the armor. A lot of his like most of his magic defense on Andvari is literally in his ascension tree. Like if you that's pretty much like if you have any kind of decent magic defense, you really gotta ascension him up here. Because he like literally I think like a majority of his magic defense is here. Plus he gets quite a bit of health. So if you want him to tank, you almost like said, you really do want to put him through here. Like there's just a lot of stats, like a lot of strength, a lot of health. There's some like physical attack stuff, but strength, health, armor, like it's just super important to like have this. Like so it really like if you can't do this though, it makes kind of limits your ability to use him as a tank because you're not going to be able to max out stats. So he's going to be a lot squishier than he otherwise would. Like a lot of people, like said, my Aurora, like for most people, like max, like prioritizing your main tank is a priority for a lot of people just because having your main tank strong helps. But having like a main tank that's actually a tank that can use the tank stuff that is otherwise not very useful. For like, there's aren't a lot of tank heroes that are like must haves. So most people do like one, maybe two. So it's like you usually have a surplus of these, but all these kindness insignias that you need for like 20 different heroes, or not 20 different heroes, but like 5 different heroes. Yeah, like it's part of big reason thing that's holding Andvari back. The other issue is that it's just like we're kind of like Iris has also kind of made Rufus more of a popular pet on, or sorry, popular tank on defense. Because she can be used to really kill like any frontline hero except Rufus. I mean, literally any frontline hero is pretty vulnerable to Iris. Andvari, I mean, he's okay as a tank. Like, he doesn't have as much health as someone like Aurora does, but like, so this will tear Andvari apart pretty quickly unless he has like low armor, but then he has other issues. Like, Aurora can survive with low armor because she has dodge instead. So this is, like I said, so a lot of those things, there are advantages to Andvari. Like as a defending hero, like as a like defending hero, as a like niche tank, but because it's so hard to get his ascension up, part of, like I'm seeing a lot of people just don't feel like he's worth it anymore because it's hard to get stats. Yes, he does get all the roll branch bonuses, but if he was a tank, a lot of people do tank as well. Like tank's the other one I have maxed out. Like those are the two branches most people work on because those are the ones honestly that make the most sense to focus on. Like it's just one of those things. Like so it's so it's like if he was a tank, he would still get these benefits, but because he's not a tank, like I said, he's here, like, and it's just like he's in a crowded role, like where just the resources are hard to accumulate. So it just kind of, it's a lot harder to max him out. The other issue that kept him was the stellar skin. They finally added it to regular after like a lot of controversy. But like this was also like another way to get his magic. This was the only other way to get his magic defense up. Like before, like this was a more recent addition. Like there's a lot of controversy on that because getting his magic defense, because he has terrible magic defense, and helping his magic defense a bit, definitely helpful if you want to tank with him. If you want to know more about getting wins in hero fights, I recently did a deep dive where I beat a large number of teams using just 8 heroes. Check that out below. Thanks for watching.